Comrade Show with Comrade Lante Oriahi. Like us, follow us, and be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show.
Yes. Top of the day to you people, Nigerians across the world. Yeah, this is the Comrade Show, and I'm glad to welcome you to the Comrade Show. My name is Comrade Lamte Oriahi, and of course, Nigeria right now is definitely buzzing with so much information here and there. Things are happening across different political parties with different individuals across different platforms and all of that. However, our subject matter, our focal point, yesterday, today, and hopefully tomorrow is Peter Gregory Obi. Day before yesterday, information broke that Peter Obi has resigned from the PDP, and of course. I've had to receive too many calls from different people asking me questions, some of which I cannot answer because they are questions that border directly on Peter Obi's campaign. I just want to make this. Use this medium to quickly, make this known to everybody that I am just an enthusiastic Nigerian who wants the best for Nigeria and who wants that we make the right choices so that the fortunes of our country can start changing, for the benefit of all Nigerians. And that is why I am very much transfixed on what I do, on behalf of Peter Obi. I am not a member of Peter Obi's campaign. I don't belong to any official group or groups, as it were, directly, working with Peter Obi. But I owe this a responsibility, as I believe most Nigerians do, to do whatever we can do right now, to, of course, have a Nigeria, that all of us can be proud of. And so we can never, despair. We will always do what we have to do for the sake of our country. This is not really about Peter Obi as an individual per se, but it's about savaging what is left of this country and all of that. So many of those questions that came my way, I really could not respond to them because we need to give them time so that the campaign and of course Peter Obi will definitely answer some of those questions. But what we know, what Nigerians know right now, what the world knows, is that Peter Obi has left the PDP. And so some of the issues that came, some of the questions that came, a lot of people were concerned. Some persons were concerned. People expressed that to me, directly. People called me, wrote me, oh, now that this man has left the PDP, some people were feeling down. Is it still possible? And all of that, and all of that. I'm going to use this medium to quickly try to respond to some of these things, the ones we can respond to. And of course, I have gauged the political temperature. I have gauged as much as possible the followership of Peter Obi. I have gauged the response of Nigerians to Peter Obi leaving the PDP. Look, there is nothing positive that happens. Please, if you are joining help share this broadcast, it's very important. There is nothing positive that happens to people, that must follow the same old pattern. This is very important. We must understand. I believe very strongly that Peter Obi leaving the PDP is good riddance to bad rubbish. Let's not forget, and I must say this in a parable in Benin language. Mowe, no nyawe hiazo bona mu. Holding leg. The person when you get leg, go leave leg, make them hold on. The person must respond. Now, Peter Obi is the man who is putting on the shoes and he knows exactly where it pinches. Peter Obi is the man who has looked at the political culture, the decadent political culture of the Nigerian state, the same old fashion, the same, delegate over faction. And he has looked at me. I cannot practice this. He saw this. I mean, it is what the PDP and the APC and the same old, political arrangement is used to. It's always been a game of the highest bidder, and it is part of why we are crippling today as a nation. Because now I tell you, there are certain candidates right now that are, I mean, they are buying delegates in dollars. In PDP, they are buying for as much as $10,000. $10,000. Now, if this person spends billions, buy all the delegates over, eventually gets a ticket, goes ahead to win the election, what happens to Nigeria? Will he just win and allow the tens of billions he may have spent to just go down the drain because he wants to serve Nigeria? Of course, that will not happen. And at the end of the day, the rest of us, we have nothing to say. This is what has bedeviled this country. And I've come to understand and realize that Peter Obi, even though he may have that financial muscle to play the same game, doesn't want to play that game. And again, if we must, as a nation, must get ourselves out of the present, status quo, the shackles of, political nonsense that we are currently immersed in, it therefore means that the order has to change. It therefore means that some structures have to change. And so, I think that God is just standing right now for Nigerians and for Nigeria. And so the decision for Peter Obi to leave the PDP was not just only timely, but was very apt. And from what I have looked across, I think that Peter Obi has even gained more followers now. Because there were people hitherto who didn't want to support Peter Obi because he was in PDP. And let's look at PDP as a political party. PDP governed Nigeria for about 16 years or thereabouts, if I'm not mistaken. And we can tell the fortunes of Nigeria. Now, APC took over since the last 7 years or so. And we can actually still tell what Nigeria is under APC. Now, since the last 20 to 24 years, people who are grown up can look at Nigeria 20 years ago and look at Nigeria right now and begin to try to compare what Nigeria was 20, 24, 25 years ago and what Nigeria is now. How much progress have we made? Now, if we agree that we have not made progress, who has contributed to where we are? At the end of the day, it is the same PDP and the APC that has massively kept us where we are. Look at APC right now and look at the PDP. You can hardly actually tell the difference between both political parties. The other day, APC did their national convention to elect their national chairman and all of those, ESCO and all of that. And when I looked very closely, 99.9% of the people elected into the new APC Executive Council, I've been talking of the NEC, the ESCO, they were once members of the PDP. They've all been part of this same story. They know what has been. They know what is. And so with what has been, they are projecting into what will continue to be. And so therefore, if Peter Obi has left the PDP, we are very sure it's not going to the APC. Information came to me very early this morning. I don't want to float that. Hopefully, in the coming hours or in the next day, we will know. But I'll let you know. The information that came to me is that it's likely that Peter Obi will join Labour. And if this is the case, I tell you, that we have the next president of Nigeria on our hand. And that's talking of Peter Obi. But in any case, the resolve of the super majority of Nigerians today is that anywhere Obi go, now there we go. And he get why. Get why. It is the why I'm trying to open up. This share this program is very important. I told somebody yesterday when I was having a chat, I said, look, now I am very confident that we can work hard and give Obi 20 million votes. 20 million votes. 20 million votes. We can be rest assured that we can give Obi 20 million votes. Wherever he goes, every Nigerian who truly wants the fortunes of this country to change must be prepared. If you are out there, you are watching, you are listening, please put your baggage together, because we are looking at a man who, by the grace of God, will come and reform the entire landscape. I had an interesting conversation yesterday with somebody, and the person, was making a very good case, and his summation was that Nigerians are very corrupt people. Nigerians, even if Peter Obi is the president, cannot be this and cannot be that Nigeria will remain the same. And I know that a few persons hold the same opinion. A number of persons do hold the same opinion. But, eventually I was able to convince this young man, and I'm going to share the same reason, because I know that a number of people feel the same way. We must have confidence in this man. I'm going to tell you why. I am a Nigerian. A huge part of my life was spent in Nigeria, though I've left Nigeria. And I'm going to give you this simple example. I live in the UK currently. I once lived in Germany. I lived in Spain. I'm in the UK right now. There is something, that happens when any Nigerian leaves Nigeria that is a corrupt Nigeria. When this man argued that everybody in Nigeria is corrupt, or rather the super majority of Nigerians are corrupt. When a Nigerian enters a country like Germany, a corrupt Nigerian, now let me tell you what happens. This corrupt Nigerian, gets into this country where there's law and order. Within minutes, in fact, as the person is stepping into the airport of Germany, for instance, and is probably taking a train home, his entire orientation as a Nigerian begins to change as he starts seeing the difference between where he is and where he's coming from by the things he's seeing around. Now, by the time the person starts living in Germany and begins to understand that, this is a no-go area, that is a go area, this is that, the person begins to adapt as a human being into how it works. Now, the person begins to hear stories of people who try to jump the rules of engagement, and some of them wallow in the prisons without compromise. Nobody to bribe when there's a case against you and you are going to court. Nobody to bribe. When the police arrest you, nobody to bribe, to bail you. When the person starts seeing or hearing stories like that, the person becomes a born again in Germany. He leaves his old self, the Nigerian self, and begin to adapt his life into the new environment. He begins to understand that you don't just jump queues. You wait until it gets to your turn, because in this particular environment where there is law and order, that is what applies to that environment. So your Nigerian nature, which is the old nature, no longer applies when you get to Germany or you get to UK. Now, you are a Nigerian. You become very law-abiding because you are in an environment where law and order is the order of the day. Now, I try to explain to this man that there is no Nigerian that is innately corrupt. The system, the Nigerian system, makes everybody what everybody is. Now, when that system changes into a new order, everybody will repent and begin to adapt to the new order. Every Nigerian, like everybody elsewhere all over the world, is capable of adaptation, changing to what is. Now, this is where Peter Obi becomes very critical. As a man whom we expect to come and make the laws of Nigeria work for Nigerians, whom we expect will come and create a Nigerian environment where law and order is supreme. When that happens, the multitude of Nigerians today that we see as, oh, this one is this one is that, and all of that, everybody will begin to understand that there is a new Nigeria. And it is that new Nigeria that many of us are advocating for. A new Nigeria that when we look at the people right now who are contesting to become president, the only person that many of us can say can champion the cause of this new Nigeria is Peter Gregory Obi. It therefore becomes very important that Peter Obi leaving the PDP may actually just be a blessing in disguise for Nigeria. Because probably if he gets the ticket under the PDP and become elected under the PDP as president, he will have a primary hurdle to fight under the PDP, because under the PDP there is an institutionalized corruption in place and corrupt people in place who know how they have been doing it the old ways and will expect. So internally, he may actually begin to have problem with the PDP corrupt structure. Now, if Labour, as I'm hearing already, as it's fitting to my ears, is where Peter Obi goes. As a matter of fact, Nigeria should consider herself blessed. Why do I say that? Just recently, there is a group of Nigerians, very credible Nigerians, with names like Femi Falana, with names like what's his name? This is our economist. I'll remember his name shortly. Involved, and they've been talking of a third force that I've seen inside Nigeria, inside out, and I'm looking to project a new Nigeria from Nigerians that Nigerians can vouch for. And so they've been putting their acts together. And I was talking of Patu Tomi. He's involved in this third force. And some other credible Nigerians all across the nation. Okay? I have been very privileged, in recent time to have had meetings with some of their very senior, people previously. In fact, this one is not even, oh, God is faithful. This one is not even, we're not even anticipating that Peter Obi was going to leave PDP, because Peter Obi was still running. I'm talking of as early as a month ago, I had some very, powerful meeting with some of them. And in that meeting, while the third force, they were updating some of us on, what the agreement has been. They are trying to register a new political party, but INEC is refusing the registration of that political party and all of that. And I made a case. And I told them, the people I had a meeting with, I don't want to mention their names here. I said, and I appeal to them that however they arrange, they should consider somebody like Peter Obi as a man that should be their flag bearer for the presidency. Even though I had no idea that there's anything that's going to make Obi leave the PDP. So even when I have been talking about Peter Obi under the PDP and all of that, I just know this man needed to come out from his structure. Not because I believe in certain human beings even under the PDP, as it were. The same thing goes to APC. I'm not a member of any of these political parties, and so really I can speak as freely as possible. So when I heard the first day that If I was on live broadcast, somebody called in and said, people have called me before, but I'm not taking it seriously yet until the matter is confirmed. So when it became confirmed that Peter Obi had left the PDP and all of that, I was actually very prayerful that he should go to Labour. I am not confirming right now that he has gone to Labour, but if he does, believe me, I'll be one of the happiest Nigerians today, because I believe very strongly that Labour will be a proper platform where people who are going to be members of Labour, okay, we understand that there is a new orientation for a new Nigeria to be born out of a political party with a new ideology and with some Nigerians that have, you know, that Nigerians can say these are credible Nigerians, reasonably so. And I pray that Peter Obi will find himself in Labour. But if not, anywhere Obi goes, we will go. Because Obi represents an entity that will show us the newness of what Nigeria can be. I did put this clip together, and I'd like to show us one clip that speaks to exactly what I'm talking about. Can I find that clip? I hope I do find it. Could it be this? Let's see if it's this.
This is the commercial.
Let me plead with all of you this night. Whenever people talk about you, all of you are being to good schools. I always have friends like you who tell me about Singapore and this and that. And what I tell them that if you go to Singapore, and that's the only example I'll use, the best people are in government. The best brain is in government. I plead with all of you, as you enjoy and do whatever you do in your good office and everything, please do not leave governance to the least in the society. That's what we are doing today. The role models we have in government are the least in the society. And all of us are complaining. There's no way we won't complain. There's no way. People say to me, how were you able to save money? It was very simple. All we did was to shut down the cost of governance. In 8 years, I never had a governor's lodge in Abuja. Why should I have it? I don't live in Abuja. It's not necessary. As a governor's lodge in Lagos, you can go and see it. I lived it for 25 years. I don't live in Lagos. Why should we have governor's office in Lagos? In one year alone, we cut the cost of governor's travel by 80%. Why? When they invite me to Abuja for meeting, I'm the only person invited. Why should I go with 30 other people who nobody invited? And they have no reason to be there. And that's what is happening. You don't need to go too far. No, it's important that you know that. That is what is their problem, the cost.
This is the commercial.
Nigerians, I'm just giving some. I played that video for us to understand the nature of the man that we're advocating for. Who directly speaks to what Nigeria needs today as a nation. The cost of governance is a problem. In the cost of governance lie so much corruption, so much, too much, unimaginable. The scale of corruption in this country is unimaginable. The waste in this country going through corruption is unimaginable. But we have a Peter Obi, if given the chance, we anticipate and hope that he will plug all of those holes. Yesterday, some news filtered in from one of the political lords of Anambra State. I'm talking of, I'll remember his name shortly. I think he granted an interview somewhere. And he was saying that Peter Obi is a stingy man, which is why he's not supporting Peter Obi. and that when Obi was governor of Anambra State, he spoke to the point where, he was not impressed with the kind of wine he was offered when he visited Obi with some other colleagues of his. I'm talking of one Umba speaking and all of that. And so, to that extent, Obi is stingy. Nigerians, I think, if, as a matter of fact, why that man probably was going that interview and was thinking that he was bringing down the personality of Obi, he didn't know that he was speaking to what Nigerians want. A president who is stingy to the cause of building the nation, stingy against individuals who are ready and willing all the time to loot the country dry, stingy to the point of ensuring that this country gets herself back, put money back into the society, make the people in the country become the first and foremost, may they be the center of the plans. He said the man is stingy because he was not given an expensive wine to drink when he visited. I'll tell you, Andy Uba, yeah, somebody just corrected Andy Uba. I'll tell you what Nigeria don't want. And I'm going to show you by some illustration. I have a video here. I hope it plays. I am very puzzled by it, and I am hoping that EFCC, will do what they have to do concerning this particular footage I am looking for to play right now. I think this is it. Please just watch. We'll come back to it.
So, by the grace of God, we are going to do 1 million.
Don't worry, everybody.
Nigerians, that is a governor's wife in Nigeria. The governor of a state, his wife. And it's looking very normal. She's sharing 1 million naira to her immediate staff as governor's wife for an office created to be office of the first lady. 1 million naira to her immediate staff, and people around, 1 million naira. In this said state, workers are being owed salaries for up to 2 months. In this said state. And this woman right now is sharing 1 million naira. Now, one thing that Nigerians may not even understand, they've now made it part of us, is that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria doesn't recognize the office of a First Lady. There is no provision made for an office called the First Lady's office. What the Constitution makes provision for is the elected human being. When you are elected a governor, if you are a married person, okay, you are the coverage of your family. Your salary is what your family should depend on. Your allowances is what your family should be depend on. That you are elected a governor doesn't create an office for your wife. An office that will be funded by taxpayers' money. At the end of the day, this woman, I think is Kogi State Governor's wife. I hear that even the husband is even trying to contest for the presidency. If a governor's wife can do this, and the husband get the opportunity of becoming president of Nigeria, how much further waste do you think that this country will incur? Now, transposing that to, or rather juxtaposing that against the backdrop of, Peter Obi when he was governor of Anambra State, there was no office of first lady. He spoke to this publicly at some point. The wife was simply addressed the wife of the governor, and there was nothing attached to her office. According to Peter Obi, he said he called his wife and said, in my administration, the constitution does not allow or does not make provision for anything like first lady. And so we are not going to have anything like office like first lady's office. You will support me to govern the state. You will expect that under the Nigerian political structure, the wife of the governor should support her husband to govern the state. If she's being paid any allowance, it should be paid from the earnings of her husband. I live in the UK. I've said that repeatedly. The Prime Minister of England, I was having a chat with a friend of mine. He's a very popular guy on the ground. He's been wooed, cajoled. The Labour Party is cajoling him, enticing him to come and run for the mayor of his own, local government, as it were. And he's not interested. So we got talking, and I was saying, you are a Labour man. You committed to Labour. Why don't you just pick up this challenge? But he told me that the salary of mayor, his own salary is like 3 times more than the salary of the mayor. As a matter of fact, his own salary, what he earns in a year is more than what the Prime Minister of England earns in a year, officially. And so he's not interested. He's coming to come and set people, do this and all of that. He will leave his businesses. He will leave. At the end of the day, going to be earning something he considers mega. This same reason, there are so many people in the UK who are not interested in playing politics because in their own private capacity, they earn a lot more than many of these politicians do. Because officially, people have what they earn. A parliamentarian in the UK, I'm not sure a parliamentarian salary is more than £5,000 a month. I'm not sure. It's more than £5,000 a month. That's what the kind of people will call National Assembly members, like House of Rep or Senate members in a month. And that money includes what they use to equally run their office. And all of that. And everything is so organized. Everything is constitutional. If you get anything more than what you are supposed to get, you will answer for it. You cannot be campaigning and indiscriminately be getting money. You must account for even the campaign monies you receive. It must be official. Now here we have a governor's wife. If I counted the people in that particular room right now, there are probably more than, let's take a count, there are probably more than 15 people. If we take a count all around her, just look at a number of people are in that place right now and all of that. This we are watching is just in a singular instance. The other day, Peter Obi complained and said the policy of the dollar in Nigeria that was meant for people having international business and having to buy, products internationally and all of that, can no longer get the dollar to procure products they want because politicians have shared the dollar amongst themselves. And that's why I reported the other day that even under some of the political parties, they are now giving $10,000 to delegates. There is a case right now in one of the states in the north where a delegate lost his House of Rep, what's it called, primaries, and he has not. An aspirant, and he has not called all the delegates, even threatened them. They are returning the money he paid them, and he has recovered over 100 million naira. So when you look at all of these misdemeanor, all of this very bad political culture, we now must desperately make a strong case for Peter Obi wherever he goes. And if this country must change, we must do something different from the same way we were doing it before. And the same way we have been doing it before is the way APC is doing it now, is the way PDP is doing it now. If we have to make a change, it must be different. We must count on the super majority of Nigerians. And I can assure that this country will be better for it. So my people, I came to make this broadcast. I don't want to make it too long, to say that many of us are already committed to the ideology that anywhere Peter Obi goes, we will go. And we must trust him to go to the place where Nigerian people's interests will be best protected under his leadership. If he goes to Labour and is confirmed, I will be most happy. Because why would that be? If Peter Obi gets the mantle of leadership under a party like Labour, for instance, he becomes the leader of the party. It therefore means that his ideology of how a nation should be becomes what people who must be members of Labour will abide by. And that will be good for the generality of Nigerians. Nigerian people, let's not rest on our laurels. For the people who have said, oh, we are members of PDP, or we are members of APC, look, the dividends of bad democracy in Nigeria does not just get to the other Nigerians, it gets to everybody. And the majority of the people who are in these political parties, APC or PDP, the majority of the people who are there are the people who are downtrodden. Those who are ripping this country off, they are the very few people who are heads of these political parties. So I want to appeal. I am not asking you to leave APC or leave PDP. In this presidential election, because of what we have been through under APC and PDP in the last 20-something years, my humble appeal is stay in your political party, no problem, but ensure that you support Peter Obi to become president of Nigeria. That means including voting for Peter Obi. Now that is allowed. In the last election in England, many people who are members of Labour voted for the Conservative, voted for Boris Johnson, not because they were leaving Labour, but because they believe that a Conservative party, what's called under Boris Johnson, will provide better for the people, provide better protection for the people. It's allowed. It's allowed. You can be disenchanted in your political party. It doesn't mean you are leaving the party. It just means that at this time, this nation requires somebody who is outside of the circle. Take the count. Look at APC, look at PDP. Look at all of the contestants there. The leading contestants. They've all been inside this circle for more than 20 years. They've been part of this process. Atiku was one time the vice president of this country. He has contested, if I'm not mistaken, about 5 times now for the office of the president. What is he looking for? We don't know. We don't know. Saraki has been a governor before. He was a Senate president for 8 years. Was it 8 years? I don't know, but he was Senate president. He's here. What is he looking for? When they were there, how did Nigeria change? How much of change did we experience? And how did that change affect the common man? Look at APC. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is the current vice president. He's been vice president for the past 7 years. He's the head of the Nigeria's economic team. What have we gotten under the administration? He's coming now. Look at Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He practically gave Nigeria this government we have right now. He's coming now. What are they looking for? And I'll tell you the case. The only thing they are looking for is what they have always looked for, which is being in control of this country's resources. I told us the other day a report, and I equally showed a report here. In this country, Abba Kyari, the former chief of staff to Mr. President of Nigeria, is alleged, the late chief of staff, is alleged now, conniving with some people in NNPC, the leadership of NNPC, they are alleged to have stolen independently, freely to themselves, $2.5 billion. Don't imagine because we just mentioned it in numbers from our mouth. $2.5 billion can turn around the fortunes of Nigeria. ASU is currently on strike. Nobody cares about the educational infrastructure. Even when they are doing their budget, education receives the least from their budget. Look at our health infrastructure. They don't even use it. When they are sick, they travel abroad. The other day, Sergius Ogun, a lawmaker from Edo State, was trying to introduce a bill to the National Assembly to say anybody who is a public office holder elected, that person's children should not be allowed to be schooling abroad. They quickly quashed the bill because that is what they live for. That's what they live for. They quashed the bill because they don't want to establish that as a law. Because that is why they do what they do. They struggle to get this political power. Look at the sham that has embraced the primaries going on right now under APC and under PDP. Just look at the shameful primaries that Nigeria is organizing right now. That speaks to it. It speaks to why Peter Obi had to leave the PDP. Had to leave as a sane mind. Had to leave to go to a place where he can assert his credibility. Where people, if you watch the video I played now about Peter Obi, he said, let us not leave this country in the hands of the least in our society. Let me play that video again. Maybe some of you never watch it. I just like you guys to watch this video again of Peter Obi, appealing to Nigerians not to leave this country in the hands of the least of this country.
This is the commercial.
Let me plead with all of you this night. Whenever people talk about you, all of you have been to good schools. I always have friends like you who tell me about Singapore and this and that. And what I tell them that if you go to Singapore, and that's the only example I'll use, the best people are in government. The best brain is in government. I plead with all of you, as you enjoy and do whatever you do in your good office and everything, please do not leave governance to the least in the society.
Do not lead governance to the least in the society. Who are our political role models right now? The Buharis. The Buharis. These are the kind of people we have left governance for. These are the people who rule this country with the highest level of nepotism. We are in this country where insecurity is the order of the day. People are dying. The military is complaining. Talking of the combat soldiers. Every day we hear their complaint. We no enough ammunition, no this, no that. Buhari was donating $1 million to Afghanistan to support their fight against terrorism. $1 million. We never get it for the one who was there. While we were really, Deborah was killed, and not too long ago some attack took place in the east where a woman, another heinous attack, a woman was killed with 4 children, a pregnant woman. I will speak to that in some other broadcast. Condemnable act. Mr. President was traveling to, to Dubai to go and commiserate with a responsible leader who has made his country all right, to go and commiserate with that leader. Meanwhile, we have so much. That is how credulous we have been in selecting people. Nigerians, I'm appealing. I have a lot of energy right now because of the man in question. Many of us are out there right now advocating for Peter Obi. We have the strength to do so. I appeal, let us not deflate the energy some of us have right now. And the only way we can sustain this energy is for all of us getting to be baptized into the Peter Obi's movement. If you're out there, this is not a festival. This is a serious matter. A serious matter that speaks to the future of the country Nigeria. A serious matter that all of us must be part of. Please be ready. Be ready. If you're at home, you are in Nigeria, please. Your PVC right now is a diamond. They will come after these phases of primaries, when they have selected themselves and all of that. Eventually, they will come. They want to share 10,000 naira, 50,000 naira, 20,000 naira to the ordinary people so that they can get the highest number of votes. I tell you, there must be a political revolution at this time. A revolution like no other. A revolution where nobody will shoot a gun, where nobody will carry a knife. A revolution that will be led by the power of our PVCs. The PVC to determine the presence of this country. And the most prepared president right now, the most prepared human being to become president of Nigeria is Peter Obi. He's young. He's intelligent. He's compliant with the time. He's been there. He's credible. He's one of the only few persons right now on the field generally that does not have any case of corruption against him from anywhere. He works freely. Simple. He does not draw necessary attention. He's not garrulous. And when he's talking, he does not speak to pull anybody down. He tells us the problem we have, which we can recognize. And he gives us practical analysis on how we are going to solve those problems. Come on. What do we know? What do we want? His own life as a human being, his own private life, is one too that, in fact, has endeared me as a person. A couple of months ago, his own daughter had a wedding. Anna Brasted was not shut down. The hair and the Martin were not present. There was no big announcement to say, oh, Peter Obi, no big headlines. It was just one of the simplest marriages that can come from the class of a human being like that. Human being that some people even say is probably one of the richest Nigerians today. And yet, his modesty is to a fault. Andy Uba came out to say the man is stingy. Little does he know, Andy Uba, that Nigerians right now need a stingy man like Peter Obi to plug all of these holes where they are stealing our patrimony and put them back into the people. Now, let me shock you. The last one he said, I'm going to talk about before I round up this broadcast. When Peter Obi was questioned on the issue of infrastructure, he told the interviewer, I said, what he believes in is investing in the human beings first and foremost before investing in what the eye can see. And that is what they do in the UK. The UK is not interested in the roads or in the deeds. Those ones, they are not priority. They are looking at the human beings living in the UK and how comfortable they would be. That is the priority. Just yesterday here, the one we will call the Minister of Finance came out and made an announcement, a very big announcement, to say energy prices are increasing. So they've released about 8 billion pounds right now to put some money in the account of families in the UK to help alleviate the cost of energy, electricity and otherwise. That is on the increase. That every family right now is to get about £400 towards alleviating this cost, because they believe that when the human beings are okay, you see, when the economic crisis came with COVID-19, everybody, how will we do? This country released several billions, not to build roads, but into families, into the human beings in the country. People whose business were suffering, they opened the pathway for them to get loans. People get as much as 50,000 loans, 100,000 loans, depending. People who lost their jobs, this country sorted them out. Today, it doesn't look like this country went through any crisis, because the majority of the people are still employed. In fact, unemployment rate has even reduced drastically. I think right now in some places, there are more jobs in the UK than the people to do the job. They have more employment spaces than people available for this job to be done, because of the policy of a government. This is how government imparts people. And I tell you, I see very close similarity between the thinking of the people of the UK, the leadership, and Peter Obi. No wonder I'm not surprised. He spent a lot of his life in the UK. He knows how this thing works. I think we need to give this man a chance to put you and I first before any other thing. To reposition our education system, to ensure that we reduce the number of what's it called, out of school people, children in this country. Provide that thing that my father used to call Isao Mame, the key of greatness. And what is that key of greatness? Having the opportunities to earn a living. Being prepared to be able to earn a living independently. That is Isao Mame, the key of greatness. This is a country where majority of the people can afford anything. Can afford anything they want, provided they are upright, they keep to the terms of agreement, the terms of arrangement that the society provides. I'm not trying to sound immodest. When I go to the market here in the UK, I am not looking at the price of the things I want to buy. I'm rather thinking of how to take them home. Sometimes you go for, many years ago when I didn't have a car, when I just came into this country and all of that, we're just trying to enter into the system. You go for shopping, You buy, you don't even know, that you've bought beyond your limits. Now, how you want to begin to carry what you buy reach house? Now, be the problem. That is not the case with Nigeria. And Nigeria, I tell you, is far richer than this country, the United Kingdom. So what is wrong with us? The answer is we have had people that have led the Nigerian state as leaders who are only self-centered, self-serving. All they have known, all they have ever done is to loot the country dry. Nobody serves for the glory of service. And Peter Obi understands this. He's abhorred by this. He's unhappy with this. And he has made a personal commitment to tell all of us that it is possible to change direction. So my people, your own commitment is anywhere Obi go, now here we go. This now why. So people, Obi's out of PDP. Let's not despair. It is good readers to bad rubbish. Join the train. Anytime they make an announcement to say, oh, now Labour now, or whichever party it is, please share this broadcast. We want to raise not less than 1 million followers within 1 week of announcement. Not less than 1 million followers. And let's begin to increase that, because my own target as a human being with some of my colleagues that are together is that we must be able to galvanize and give Peter Obi 20 million votes in this election. At least 20 million votes. I am sure that we are going to immerse the southern part of Nigeria. My major concern is how we are going to work and convince our brothers in the north to know that this is a new movement, to understand that this movement is important. Not just for anybody, the people in the south, important for the entire Nigerian state. This we have to do. This we'll continue to do. On that note, let me congratulate all Nigerians in advance that Obi has left PDP. It is purely good riddance. Obi will announce, hopefully before the end of today, tomorrow, the day after, we will get to know exactly where he's now going. Let's be prepared. My own baggage is packed, it's ready. I am going with him. What about you? Are you? If you are, please share this broadcast. Let it go round. I'll meet you again. I'll come your way again. The struggle must go on. Obi, as a movement, must be realized. Peter Gregory Obi must be the president of Nigeria come 2023. Anywhere Obi go, we go. Anywhere Obi is, that is where we are. Anywhere Obi finds himself, that is where we will find ourselves. So my people, my name is Comrade Lamtic Mahonsa. I will only come to assure us that the future is bright with Peter Obi leaving the PDP. I'll see you again. Bye for now.
Comrade Show. Wait. Comrade Lamte Oriaki. Like us. Follow us. And be the first to know. This is the Comrade Show.
Are you a business owner? Do you make your own products? This is your best opportunity ever. Register your brand now with the first and largest marketplace promoting Nigerian-made products. Get access to over 17 million shoppers and customers currently in need of your products. Download on Google Play Store now to register or visit ekioja.com. Focus on creating your passion. Leave the marketing to us.